everybody. We actually recorded an episode earlier today. We woke up bright and early to do it.
Woo.
We had a bunch of stuff on our schedule today. We woke up early. We showed up. We banged it out. It was one of my favorite episodes. I thought it was really, really good. And we had technical difficulties. It was unusable. We could not upload it. So now, late at night, we are doing another one.
We had fun, man. We drafted for fantasy football. We played a long-ass game of poker. And now we're here recording the Sogcast again.
Episode 76.5.
Yeah, welcome back. Thank you for being with us again. We're going to try to bang through all the points we had earlier and get through this episode quickly, but hopefully without missing too many beats here. Huh?
And
thoroughly and succinctly.
And hopefully all of our audio is fully recorded this time. So here we go for the second time today. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sogcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Garrett.
I almost forgot my name. That was crazy. Yeah, we're back here, and we had a good homestand. No.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Good new homestand under our new manager and hitting coach.
How do you feel about Dan Wilson at the helm of the ship right now?
I'm happy with it. I like that he's kind of an old school guy. You know, he's not heavy on the analytics. Like you heard, like Divish said that, right?
Yeah.
Like he's not...
On another podcast.
Not ours. Actually, he was our morning guest, and we couldn't get him back.
Ah, shit. Yeah. Just couldn't upload it.
But I do like that Dan is not heavy in the analytics. Not saying that analytics don't play a role in the modern game. They definitely do. But it seemed like Scott was so analytics heavy where everything was driven by the numbers. And Dan, you know, being an old head from the 90s, he kind of can take that new information, but also apply it with his old school mentality. And I like it so far. It's a small sample size so far, but I like what Dan has done with the team.
It makes me wonder if when they say that they need a new voice, that was a reason why they picked up Dan and got rid of Scott. I wonder if it's translating what the analytics team says into terms that players can understand and give a shit about, not just say the exact same thing to them. I don't know what Scott was saying or if this is a reason at all, but that's what it makes me think of that.
Yeah,
for sure. I've been saying it for quite a while where I think that the analytics department is doing a good job. It's not their fault, but it's the way that the analytics details, all the statistics and things get passed down through the coaching staff to the player. And there's been a translation problem from analytics style thinking to where they need to do this research pre-game, right? They need to know who's pitching against them and what they throw and what their tendencies are. That's important stuff to know before the game so you have it in the back of your mind. But it's the way that it's translated through the coaching staff that matters the most. And I don't think Scott was the guy that was talking hitting with players, was trying to get into their mentality and figure out what's wrong. Either way, it's at the end of a long tenure with Scott Service, and Dan Wilson is a breath of fresh air. And I do like his old school mentality, and I think that's a step in the direction of translating the analytics stuff to players because he's a player's manager, I think. It feels that way already. He's making decisions where if we're tied, we're going to play like we're winning rather than if we're tied, we play like we're behind by one run, which is where we've been lately. So I think things have turned around, and we need that right now. Going into the last month of the season, 5 games behind Houston now because they won today and the Mariners lost. We needed it bad, these wins, every single one of them. We've split the series so far with the Angels. We have a rubber match on Sunday. The beginning of our road trip, starting 50-50. How's the rest going to go,
Well, these series are important. We always talk all games are equal. They're all 1 of 162. But it kind of reminds me of Animal Farm. All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. These games matter more. It's still 1 of 162, but these games matter more. We need to win these series to win out. And we've had this issue of when we win, Houston wins. And when Houston loses, the Mariners also lose. So we're not gaining ground. And today was a brutal walk-off loss. We were also a lot happier earlier this morning because the walk-off loss hadn't happened yet. We had
that was brutal.
all these high hopes. Andres Munoz tonight on Saturday gives up a walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth to the Angels.
To Mickey Moniak.
Yeah.
Damn.
Him, Moniak, and Adele are just
They
killing.
stomp-
They're
they
killing
stomp
the Mariners.
man.
Yeah, Mickey Moniak's a really good young player. He's playing for a team that isn't playing for anything right now. The Angels are 56 and 80. They're the worst team in the West. You think the A's are bad, but like they've actually been pretty decent over this last couple months, especially. They have some good young players trying to prove something. Same with the Angels, man. Moniak is that guy. First round. Was he a first overall pick possibly? Maybe. He's really fucking good. He blew us up. Walk-off home run for him.
And he hit
good for you, kid.
And he hit the game-tying home run in the 7th inning.
Oh my God.
So,
Well,
brutal.
That puts us in a spot where we're 5 games behind Houston and we're 4.5 games back in the wild card. So either path actually is 5 games. Like we need to start winning, and starting now. I mean, our last road trip was dismal.
I mean, it was so bad it got our manager of 9 years fired. That's how bad our last road trip was.
We got swept by the Tigers. We lost 2 out of 3 to the Pittsburgh Pirates, and then we got swept by the Dodgers. Came back home, and this week played the Giants. We won that series. We played the Tampa Bay Rays. We won that series. All these games were really close, too. We only won and lost by like 1 run in most of those games. I mean, is the momentum shift enough with Dan Wilson at the helm? Can our offense turn it around enough to be league average and keep this pitching staff that's been carrying us all season going to get us to the playoffs? 5 games over a month isn't that bad. We have a .507 winning percentage, which is not good. But
Right.
the opportunity to be hot at the right time has presented itself.
It's good momentum for sure going into this series against your divisional rivals. But is it enough? I just don't know, man. We were feeling really good.
We were.
When the Mariners beat the Angels yesterday and then got beat today. Now we're like, okay, well, the A's are even better than the Angels right now. So when we got to go play them for 4 games, it's like, can the Mariners take 3 out of 4 games from the A's? I don't even know anymore.
Well, the A's have decent hitting. The Mariners have really good pitching. It just depends on if the Mariners can hit, honestly. Like, if the A's can pitch, they can win. If the Mariners can hit, they can win. And it sucks. There's 2 sides to a coin. Like, if you have the best pitching in the entire freaking MLB, and then and then have the worst offense, one of the worst offenses in the entire league. What can you, like, I don't know. How does this work out for the Mariners? They need to be at least league average to help this pitching staff who, Brian Wu, holy cow, Brian Wu has been so good. He got a little bit touched up tonight in the 7th by Moniak, that tied the game. He pitched into the 7th and gave up the game-tying homer, but over his last 16 starts as a Mariner, 2.03, 2.05 ERA, lower than Felix Hernandez's first 16 starts as a Mariner, breaking a franchise record. So Brian Wu's been on fire despite his injuries earlier in the year.
The issue with Brian Wu, though, is the arm strength, the stamina. We don't know how deep he can go into games. Scott was pulling him really early in the season, all season, because he was maxing out at like 75 pitches for a starter. And we don't know if that's just physically because his arm cannot go that deep into games. Even today, pitching into the 7th against the Angels, he was only at 69 pitches.
Super efficient. We've been saying, like, since he knows he has a pitch limit, has he just started throwing it in the zone more and be like, hey, here's my 2 different fastballs. Hit this, kid. Like, good luck. He's a double Tommy John guy, too, so we're worried about health. And is it better that we ate those bullets early in the season so he uses them now when we need it the most? Because going into the 7th today, I don't blame him for giving up that jack in the 7th because, like, he was efficient with his pitches. He had gone into that inning with 69 pitches. Nice. Super efficient. And what do? You let that kid roll. And I'm happy that we did that. I don't blame him one bit for that. And maybe it is better we use him now when we need it the most, when we need the most momentum. And our bullpen hasn't been the best lately. And tonight, again, Munoz giving up the jack doesn't feel great because I was hoping our bullpen could make a push towards being the best bullpen in the league again, but it's moving the other way recently.
I mean, I still harp on the fact that the Mariners bullpen is 4th worst in inherited runs scored.
So they need a clean inning or they're fucked.
Seriously, that if they come in with trouble, they tend to let those runs score. And one of the issue with like Brian Woo's stamina, and this was a Scott issue early in the season, and this was confirmed by our Mariners insider, our inside source, that Scott was purposely pulling pitchers earlier to save their arm for the postseason. And unfortunately, now we're in a case because Scott was so conservative with the arms that now we might not even be in the postseason. And a lot of that can be attributed to Scott pulling Logan when he's dealing, pulling Woo at, 65 pitches because he wants to save him for later. And now we're in the home stretch, and yeah, their arms are there, but I mean, we've lost games because of it, and now we're on the outside fighting to get into a playoff spot.
And I mentioned this earlier in the year, if you don't go game speed into the 8th or 9th inning, how are you expected to do that when it's time to do that? You haven't built up to do that. You've been working all season. Everyone's been healthy. I mean, hardly anyone's missed a start except for Brian Woo. Maybe Kirby missed a start. I don't remember if he had but like we've
There was
only
the Logan thing. They switched him around because of the All-Star game.
Yeah.
There's been a
But that's
couple,
not really missing a
maybe, but
start.
like they've all been fully healthy.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the problem here? Build them up all the way so they can pitch a whole entire game. If they're the best pitcher on our team, which they are, they're starting pitchers for a reason. If they're still dealing in the 7th, 8th, like, build them up to be able to do that. If we don't build them up, they'll start losing their edge when they get there. They're going to fall off the edge because they haven't been there all season. It sucks that dominant pitching doesn't get to see the 8th and 9th inning that much. I think it's a positive for those guys. Build up those types of innings for the experience. They're young and they don't get it enough. They should have had many more opportunities to do this. And I don't know. I don't think that it's a bad decision to use our bullpen that was good at the time when we were up 10 games in the division. And it was okay to eat some of those bullets early in the season to use them down the stretch. It got us here. But I don't know, man. Now's the time to do it. And I like that Dan Wilson's ready to go put the guy and the game on the line, our best pitcher out there in the moment that it means the most for him, instead of pulling him out of it and not giving him that experience either.
Yeah, and I do, like, today, I really like Scott's moves. I like
Whose moves?
Sorry, Dan's moves over Scott's. Like Dan letting Brian Woo pitch into the 7th. And yeah, he got into some trouble with the 2-run bomb. And he pulled him even at 70 pitches. But it was time. Clearly, He was starting to get hit. So I felt like it was the right bullpen moves. And the bullpen did shut him down through the rest of the 7th and the 8th. And Munoz, I mean, then the walk-off bomb. It's like, what can you do? But the Mariners are not at a stage now.
We were tied. He was pitching Munoz in a tie game again.
Yeah.
I like that too. That's a good move. Like, despite the loss, I mean, that's what I want to see. Put our closer in when we're tied in the 9th on the road. That's balls. Like, let's do it. I want to see more of that, even if Munoz gave up that walk-off. That's fine. Munoz has been so good this season, too. He has a 1.92 ERA. Unfortunately, 6 losses.
6 losses. It's a little rough.
I don't know. It's either good, really good or really bad for that guy, and today it didn't go as well. as his way as well. So here
we
go.
just our time is running out. We have to win these series. We have, and you know what? We don't have to win every game. It's okay if we drop one in a series, but we're at the stage now where the leeway, the room is gone. Even today, just this one loss drops us another game behind the Astros. And I don't think we can take the wild card. We have no more games the rest of the season. The Mariners do not play any team that is ahead of us for the wild card.
That's Boston, Minnesota, Kansas City, Baltimore. We do play New York, and they're fighting for first place in the East, but we only play Houston. That's the only team ahead of us that we have a 3-game series with otherwise. So,
and it's not like we're going to take New York for the wild card spot. They're like 15, 17 games above 500.
That's just going to be such a grind to try to win a series.
Yeah.
So
we don't have time for the patty cake and we drop a series here, and the time to win is now. And we were a lot higher on it this morning. The vibes were a lot more positive. And then this loss against the Angels, who are borderline, 20 games below 500?
Yeah.
This is not playoff baseball. We need the playoffs in Seattle. And the team needs to start performing. And it's funny, in typical Mariners fashion, now they're starting to score more runs. And our pitching has not been as dominant. Now we're putting up 4, 5, 6, 7 runs a game. And our pitching, our biggest strength, is not following through. And I don't blame the pitchers for that. They've been dominant all season. It was the hitters all throughout the year that could have given us some more wins.
A little bit of role reversal happening here, where the pressure might feel different for the pitchers coming in with a lead rather than a bigger lead. Maybe the pressure isn't as hard on them, and they end up giving up runs too. Like, I don't know. It's different when your team scores runs versus hardly ever scores runs. So it's a different feel for every pitcher in that situation too. I'm not saying that it like trying to give them any excuse or anything. Everyone needs to go out there and do their job on a daily basis. Colin Snyder's been getting it done. We ended up sending down our lefty
Gabe
the Babe Spire again. So we're having issues in the bullpen that we didn't think we'd have. Santos got hurt and hasn't been back. Brash
is still gone.
hasn't been back, and we're doing the best that we can. We ended up trading Stanek out of there, getting Jimmy Garcia, who's also been hurt recently. So we're having issues in our bullpen for sure. But I do think that there's a good formula back there, and we know what we've got. We do have weapons, but it's not as dynamic as we'd like right now.
Also, you kind of just mentioned, is there more pressure? I think there might be more pressure on the starting pitchers that are like, I have to be perfect. I cannot give up 2 runs because the team might not win.
Who's going to get those runs back?
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I don't know. The pressure is on. The team needs to win now. The lollipops and patty cake time is over. It's done.
Guess what? Something might help. Best Mariner.
J.P. Crawford's back.
Mr. J.P. Crawford. I know he's only hitting 198 on the season. He
198.
But
he was having a bit of a rough season before he
I think
broke his pinky.
Having that much time off, getting fully healthy, and coming back with momentum and a vivacious attitude might help this team a lot. I think.
Yeah, he's been in the dugout for games cheering on the boys. He's been around the whole time. It's not like he was sitting in a hotel room or at his house come on, guys, you can. Oh, no, lost another one.
We'll see what kind of groove he can get into, and hopefully
he's there. He's been there.
And I actually think that's really cool because it's not uncommon for players to be injured to not be in the dugout and, at home, resting, rehabbing, or whatever. And I think it's really, really cool that throughout JP's injury, he is still there with the team, cheering them on and stuff, and being a team guy. And
he's a team captain.
That's our dude, yeah.
One thing I would probably switch is Robles' numbers in the 9 spot are good, but I would maybe swap just 1-9 and swap JP and Robles. Don't get me wrong, love JP, best Mariner, team captain. He's batting 198. He's had a rough season, and now he's been injured. He's missed, like 2 months, and then he immediately gets plugged back into the leadoff spot with a 198.
I do think
average.
that's a little strange.
I don't like that move.
No.
I don't.
I know
And he's proven in the 9 spot.
Yeah.
I know they've liked having Rivas in the 9 spot recently. They kind of had a different lineup out there today. Dylan Moore and
Urias is back.
Urias is back, yeah. We had a little different looking lineup out there today. But we have seen Rayleigh and, Rayleigh's been leading off a lot. And who'd you just say was our outfielder
Robles.
that I'm forgetting? Yeah,
Robles.
Victor freaking Robles. I love that guy.
Yeah.
It's late. Sorry, guys. Forgetting Victor Robles. Jeez. Yeah, that guy's awesome. He's a good leadoff hitter, too. I don't think we need to plug JP in there right away.
Yeah.
Either way, they're going to figure out what to do with him and put him where he belongs. I don't think that he'll stick in the 1 spot if he's not performing. We have enough good hitters up there that can do the job better than him right now.
And I like what Dan's doing with the Ross lineup construction.
I do.
Left, right, all the way through the lineup.
I like it better.
Yeah,
Utilization of switch hitters throughout. Cal, Polanco, Rivas.
Yeah, making it really difficult for the other pitchers. They can't make many mistakes because, you get one guy on, the next guy up can hit them in. I mean,
Rivas
Theoretically.
that's the idea.
Rivas has been one of the toughest
talking about the Mariners
9
here.
hitters in the league. Rivas has been hot, and he's stuck in the 9 hole. They haven't moved him out. Like we've been saying all year, know where you're hitting in the lineup, feel comfortable there, you perform well.
Boom.
You're doing your job. You're flipping it over to the top of the lineup where there are the guys to hit you in. You don't need to hit a homer. Get on base, and he's been doing it like crazy. So I like Rivas sticking in the 9 spot. We could always put anyone fast and like contact heavy bunt hit type people in the 9 hole, but like Rivas has been playing a great role there, a dynamic role there, more than just a fill-in spot.
What do we do with
like.
Rivas now that JP's back?
I think he's gonna play as much as he can. I hope we sit Polanco as much. I don't know. Polanco, what do you think? Do you trust Polanco?
Polanco's bat has come around. He's not
Yes and
absolutely
no.
useless anymore.
I would say Polanco is serviceable.
Yeah.
On both sides of the ball. He's serviceable at the plate.
But only
that
to,
doesn't mean great. It means that he's okay. And I think, and this one is more detrimental, I believe. He's serviceable in the field. He's okay. He's an okay defender.
I always feel like it's a coin flip on like balls he should have. If he doesn't field it in front of himself, if he has to go forehand or backhand, I'm like, this is a coin flip play, and that's not comfortable.
There have been
for
some
me at
rough
second
ones.
base.
Yeah.
There's been really good ones, but there's been more routine plays that I've seen him not make that I'm upset about. Than there have been great grabs. He's made good plays. I know he's able, but not consistent enough to make good plays like that. And I keep saying this, might be the 3rd time this season, but he kind of looks like a mid to late career Robinson Cano, like trending in that direction where like he's trying harder than Cano does, but he doesn't have much better performance than that.
That's true. There is definitely more effort, though, from Polanco. Like, you can tell that even when he, like, boots an easy ground ball, you can tell that he's at least trying. I watched Robinson Cano for years just think he was too cool to, like, set his feet or, like, run a ball out. That's a huge one for me. I'm big on, like, the fundamentals and, like, running stuff out. Polanco runs stuff out.
Yeah,
you
he's
can tell
trying.
that he tries, and that at least means something to me. Although good feelings don't matter in an empty stat sheet. If you go 0 for 4, it doesn't matter how good you made me feel on hustling that ball out. You still went 0 for 4.
Polanco hurt my heart for months, and now I don't know if I can trust him or not. So on an everyday basis, his stat sheet tells me how I should feel about him. And that's where I am, man. He is serviceable, but only up to like a Mitch Haniger level at best. And it's like, all right, cool. Another guy that can go up there and maybe hit a homer or a double, but like will probably strike out about 33% of his at-bats and isn't going to make that difference in wins. over the season. Like, his WAR can't be higher than 0.3 if it's even over 0. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
even with his his hitting lately, I don't know. It's got to be like 0.5 or less. It's not a huge impact on the team. It's just like, So I don't know. I don't feel like he's a huge impact this next month, but he'll play a role just like Mitch Haniger will. I think a guy like Luke Raley is way more dynamic and is going to play a huge role coming up. A guy that has speed, power, can play multiple positions. That's the kind of guy I'm looking at that I'm like, yes, thank God we have somebody dynamic on this team and not static like Haniger and Polanco, stuck in their positions over the hill, hoping for the best, coin flip whether they're going to strike out or hit the ball at all. Like, it's hard to have those guys on our roster and not blame the front office.
We also sent Canzone down.
Dominic, I'm actually glad you brought that up. I was just about to bring up like the new roster construction. Rosters are about to expand into September, and I'm just kind of curious, like, what you guys think, like, the roster construction should be. Canzone did get sent down. Gabe Spire got sent down.
But I mean, he could be back tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
It's an option, is what I'm saying.
No, yeah. No, 100%. I was a little bit surprised with the Luis Urias call back up.
Me too.
He literally got sent down, like the second month of the season?
That might just be a buffer move right now.
I don't think so.
He got sent down pretty early.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it
it
was
was
more
like
recent than
June,
that.
end of June, maybe?
No. It was really early.
Rojas won that role very obviously by the end of June.
Because they were doing the thing with, like, Urias, Rojas, and Polanco, like, kind of figuring out where they would be in the infield and stuff. And, like, Polanco took second, and then Urias and Rojas were kind of rotating at third.
But then Rojas got it cooking, and they were like, this is our guy.
Yeah, and they sent Luis down, and then I hadn't heard shit about him until today when it's like, oh, he's back with the team. Okay.
Might just be a buffer move until the rosters expand. He can be on our roster until whatever next move we're going to make in the next weeks, Like, he's just a guy that can fit in for the next few days and maybe a couple weeks, depending on how he performs. And I don't know. But Canzone, I don't know if we need him on our roster that much. He hasn't been performing.
I don't think Canzone is that dude. I had a little bit more faith when I thought he was younger, and then it turns out he's 27 years old.
27.
It's what is at 28, he's gonna hit the next level of his career.
You never know.
That is true.
You're right.
You never know, but judging by the analytics, juding by the numbers,
I can give you some numbers.
Do you think at 28 he's gonna become this next level player? I just don't see it in the cards. He's shown some flashes, and he has a decent arm. But if that's the only value he can bring to the team is a decent arm, when we need speed, we need offense. He's left-handed, but I mean,
We filled that role now. We have, like, Luke Raley came in and is serving that role a lot better than he can. Seems like a way more of a daily type player than Canzone is. Canzone has hit 196 this season in his 168 at-bats, 8 homers, but 1 stolen base. I mean, 652 OPS is not good. I know he strikes out a lot. Let's see here. 26 strikeouts, 8 walks in his last 30 games. Yeah, OPS under 600. Like, this dude, we thought he had a lot of potential. He does have a lot of pop when he hits the ball, but
he can muscle one out.
He looks so dumb when he misses. I swear he's guessing up there, and he swings at sliders that are almost hitting his back foot that he gives up on because he realizes it's not a fastball. It's like, dude, be something up there. Don't just collapse when you realize you misread a pitch. Adjust. Pull your hands in and pull that shit down the line. Do something. Don't just look like an idiot because you misread that shit.
Speaking of, did you guys see Julio's home run the other day? That was like straight up on his hands, and he's just like, bah!
yeah.
His bat has come around a little bit.
If you get it around at the right angle.
Today.
Hey, that's what we need out of him.
Yes.
Julio had 3 hits today, and he has 2 home runs in the last week. That's a sign of things to come. We needed it throughout the season, but I mean, I guess better late than never.
Hey guys, when Julio goes, this team
Oh
goes.
my God, yes.
We were saying this like all spring. Like, okay, when's he gonna go? When's he gonna go? This team go. Like, dude, it hasn't happened. So he's been okay. It's not like he's been terrible, but he's coming back from his injury and he's building the momentum. And hopefully he can put this team on his back and get them farther down the line here and get us to the playoffs.
You know what's crazy to me is that Julio's average is still like 265.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is not great, don't get me wrong, but we're not in
It's not 190.
It's not
It's
almost
sneaky
2.
good.
It's 265, and I think 265 is totally fine if the home run numbers were there this year.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. He's batting 265 with his home run numbers way down.
13 this year, and his OPS of 691 is not great. We want a guy like Julio should be batting. He should have 20 home runs with an 800 OPS, and that's minimum for a guy of his stature. He didn't have the best season in the early year. He was hitting the ball into the ground all the time. Like, he was just mashing the ball into the ground at 100 miles an hour instead of figuring out how to get his hands under the ball and his hands inside the ball, still falling across the plate constantly.
His swing is so unbalanced, it drives me
unique.
crazy.
It's pretty infuriating.
It's unique, but he has to figure out a way to get balanced and generate
That's a good
power.
PR spin.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not off balance. It's a unique. I like that.
It is.
It is unique.
And when he makes contact, Mike, our buddy, was just saying he saw Julio hit a home run where he basically fell over. Like, when he makes contact, that he's making insane contact with a ton of power. But he looks crazy when he doesn't hit the ball.
We have also said earlier in the season, if the home runs aren't there and he's swinging out of his shoes and just not making it happen, stop focusing on home runs, get base hits, and the home runs will come. Yeah, I know you guys want him to hit more home runs, especially for hitting 265 or whatever.
We're expecting that.
Yeah.
Preseason.
I don't care about the home run numbers personally. I want this guy to be on base.
I see that, but to me, so like for me, the trade-off would be bat 265 with 25 or 30 home runs, or bat 285 with 15 home runs. That's
like
what's
the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the trade-off, but if the average is down and the power numbers aren't there, it's like that's where we're in.
But I think the average is down because he's swinging so damn hard.
And the average isn't that bad. 260, he's batting 259. It's not that bad. He's had some injury problems. I think he came into this season with a hand issue still. In spring training, they were still talking about how his hand was like sore from he got hit in the hand late season, and he like fractured his hand or had like a bone bruise or something. But like, I think that was bothering him, and also he was injured again recently. But he's put up a sneaky good year for not playing a lot. It's not all-star level Julio. It's not high caliber, like top of the line Julio, but it's good enough. And if he puts up the kind of month he put up in August right now in September, that's something that can change the entire course of the Mariners season. I will be out of my mind if he can do something like that. Justin Turner just hit 2 home runs. If he can make an impact like that in the role he's playing, I mean, we got something going on here.
So one thing though, tying it back in, the roster construction with the added roster spots in September going into the playoffs, Canzone being sent down, Gabe Spire getting sent down, you can add 2 additional spots, and I think the move would be bullpen, one bullpen arm,
Left-handed.
left-handed, just to make Matt happy.
No. Gabe Spire's been shit and has been sent down a couple times, and we know our boy Sauce hasn't been the best, so we need that.
Okay.
That's someone we need.
We really do.
Matt Boyd, get back here, like somebody. Another random lefty, we need him.
So left-handed reliever, but then also I would like another kind of speed guy. Speed doesn't slump. You can hit 0.0000 for infinity. If they put you in as a pinch runner, speed doesn't slump.
How many more speed like speed guys do we need?
All of them. Every speed guy ever.
I guess our options aren't deep in the like power hitting realm, so I guess that's the best option. But like it seems like we keep filling.
Jesus Christ.
Hey,
We've got
Ringer.
speed guys. We have Dylan Moore, who's fast as shit.
We keep filling our roster with
great.
those types of guys.
Julio's fast. Is Robles fast?
Yes.
Rivas is fast.
Robles is fast.
Super fast.
Rivas is fast.
Yeah, sure.
Well, there's other Rayleigh's weirdly fast.
But if Rayleigh's strangely fast,
Yeah.
it's a big old fucking tank engine coming at you, but he gets that momentum going. He's barreling.
Dude hauls.
Yes.
We have other fast guys too.
We got
But
speed.
you want Bliss back?
I-
Is that your option?
Hey.
I would
I
like.
mean, there's no really reason to get Locklear back unless his
No.
bat is something crazy that we don't have right now.
I mean, I would take
we
Turner.
have Luke Rayleigh and Justin Turner splitting time at first base. That's fine.
Yeah. So the reason why I want speed, and this is all kind of like a pipe dreams type of scenario, but let's say we're needing to win one for a playoff or whatever. Let's say Randy Arozarena gets on. Bottom of the ninth. We need one run to win, to tie, whatever. Let's say Randy Arozarena gets on. Boom. Pinch run Dylan Moore for him. That's speed right there. Let's say Cal Rowley gets on. Boom. Pinch run for him.
I think
Put
Randy
Bliss-
has speed.
Yeah,
I think
Randy's
maybe
quick.
if Justin Turner gets on, let's like
Randy's speed is a little bit different, though. I
Randy.
mean,
He's aggressive as shit though. He'll steal a base. He'll take any extra base.
I
he
do
can.
think he has I think he's up to 18 steals this season, which is a decent amount.
he wants it. Is what I'm saying.
All right, so fine. Let
Turner. Justin Turner got on
Turner
base.
gets on. Boom.
Sure.
Thank you. Then, and these are the types of moves that I think like a playoff caliber team would use in a late game, need runs now, need speed on the bases types of situations. I don't think Bliss should get called up and get regular playing time, especially if JP's back, Polanco, Rojas, we've got those guys. But Bliss just having that depth, having that speed, and I could be completely wrong, but I really, really value speed in a roster. And I don't want speed that bats 150. I want speed coming in off the bench for the guys that are hitting 270, 280. I mean, Cal is hitting 205, but he's clutch enough.
That's different.
It is different for Cal. He's a
Cal
catcher.
Raleigh.
We love you.
He's the
Also,
best.
so fast.
Oh, he has some steals. More steals than Dominic Canzone has in his career. Cal Raleigh has this year.
I'm actually glad you said that because Dominic.
Canzone just dense.
I don't know,
Dude
man.
can't move
He's
well.
not extremely built. Well, a little more so these days. But when he came here, he was rail thin.
Yeah, he put
Is
on
he
a
ju-
few pounds
how's
this
he so
year,
slow?
but I don't know. I don't know how he's so slow.
He's
He looks
made
like
of
he should be
tungsten.
fucking fast.
Well,
It's probably so heavy.
And
He
that's
looks like a giraffe.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like base running speed is different than normal speed. Like look at JP ranging to get a ground ball. He can get range. He's not great on the base pass. It's just like a different type of speed
Yeah.
when you're running the bases in between the lines as a fielder. So like Canzone, I've seen Canzone chase some balls down.
Oh yeah.
Like, he can get some kind of wheels out there in the field, but it's clearly not in the base pass. He has 8 career stolen bases,
Yeah,
something like.
it is different though. Like
It
they
is.
have good acceleration. Those players, they can get a good jump on a ball. They're making a read and they have good acceleration, but maybe not good top speed. So they accelerate and they've hit top speed by the time they're halfway to second base, and then they're like, oh shit, he has so much time to get me.
They're Toad in Mario Kart.
And yeah, and exactly Koopa, Toad, but. But Cal Raleigh uses his smarts to steal bases. He reads pitchers and catchers. He reads counts. He reads situational baseball where the pitcher's not paying enough attention because he's not that fast guy necessarily. He uses his smarts to steal bases. Canzone can't do that. JP can't do that. If they don't have the top speed they need to steal a base, most of the time they're not going to put that play on. But we do have plenty of guys that will steal a base. I love the Ryan Bliss idea to bring it all back together. Ryan Bliss can hit the ball. He can run fast. He can play good defense. I think he's an all-around good young player we can add to our team with no issues like in the future here. When Canzone, yeah, there's obvious issues.
That's right, and that's all I'm saying. Like, I don't think call Bliss back up and make him a everyday starter. But if we are really viewing this as a playoff team, the type of depth you want on your bench is someone like Bliss, I think. And let's say, something happens, a freak injury or an ejection or, something crazy like that. Bliss can fill a slot. Demo can fill a slot.
Demo's a professional slot filler. Sorry about that one, everybody. It's late, okay?
But
I'll be here all week.
Speed doesn't slump. I would like to build a roster around speed, especially the additions in the playoffs. So yeah, left-handed reliever, and I want Bliss back up. And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't paid that much close attention to Luis Urias because ever since he got sent down, and I keep abreast with like Mariners news and stuff, and if like a AAA guy has like a big game and stuff, and like I have just not heard his name. I was actually really surprised that he got called back up with Gabe.
That's true. Okay, I heard Las Montes had a great game the other day.
Well,
I haven't heard anything about. I'm just talking about minor leaguers in general.
I guess you're right. Yeah. You do hear about Laz and other
but
guys.
I haven't heard anything about Urias in months.
Yeah. So another thing to talk about is the Mariners possibly adding another bat in the offseason. It's common knowledge the Mariners aren't going to spend the money. If they are going to add a bat, they need to trade a pitcher.
Even though they have cap space like $60 to $80 million to sign somebody. But it does suck because we have homegrown a big pitching staff where Logan Gilbert and...
No, we can't trade Logan.
Not Logan?
What, we're trading Logan?
Oh, shit, we're trading Logan?
That's what I heard.
No, we can't trade Logan.
Dude, I'm so annoyed at the whole internet right now for that.
It's so annoying.
It is annoying.
They're misunderstanding what Divish is trying to say about
you
trading
just said
a
it perfectly, and the reaction is, he just said we're trading Logan.
Yeah.
And Randy? Oh, my God. He didn't say either of those things.
No, he didn't.
God damn.
The truth of the matter is we've homegrown an entire pitching staff. We can't extend all of them. Logan Gilbert and George Kirby are the first two people that started their major league clock, and they're still going through arbitration, but we're not going to let them get to the end of arbitration and go into free agency without capitalizing on the huge value that they've built for themselves. They can't do that. So they're either you extend them before that or you trade them when they're in ARB 3 or ARB 4 to get a huge return on what value you've built for yourself to hopefully fill that role again. But I mean, it makes sense to trade those guys first because they started their clocks first. It's just the most straightforward way you can look at it. And of course, overreaction. Oh, we're trading Logan and Randy. Oh, no, fuck. They're blowing up our whole franchise.
Insane.
No, they didn't trade any of our top prospects. And they're trying to figure out who the fuck to extend. Cal Raleigh first, please.
Please.
And then at least one or two of these pitchers, and then figure out who they're going to trade for best value at the end of their arbitration or contract here.
I mean, Castillo's making a lot of money, right?
A lot.
I mean, honestly, I think if any pitcher is on the chopping block, it's Castillo. He's got that 5-year extension, and he hit that 30-year-old hill for pitchers, and hasn't. He's not dog water. He's not bad.
No,
like he's not
good.
He's good, and it's just. But we did pay him that 5-year nice extension, which I was on board for. I thought it was the right move.
Yeah.
But it's just clear that with the amount of innings he has pitched in his younger years of his career, and then coming here and getting over that 30-year-old hump, the other side of 30 hasn't been as great for him. And if we can trade him like we did Robbie Ray, like I'm on board for it. And and again,
hopefully not injured, but yes.
Yeah. But like no shade to Castillo, he would still be a second or third starter on most teams.
Easy.
He's still good, but and I've said this a million times, you have to spend money to make money. And Castillo is taking a lot of money, and you can tell that the down slope is already there. If we're going to trade anyone, trade the guy that has 4 years of team control with tens of millions of dollars tied up into his contract.
We have 4 other dudes who are on the upswing right now.
Yes.
There is a team that will want Luis Castillo
Absolutely.
before his contract expires with the Mariners. And I've been looking forward, like I've been saying this, JP's contract and Luis Castillo's contracts are the end of the current window we're in.
Yeah.
Because things are changing after that. We're going to have prospects coming up. We're going to figure out who we extend and who we trade away. Like, are we going to actually try to use Harry Ford and trade Cal Raleigh? This
God,
has been
I
a
hope not.
conversation I've been having for a long time with you guys, and like since the beginning of this podcast probably, because that's the next window that we're looking at. Not that we should be looking at 5 years down the road from right now, but like it does tie into what they're doing at the end of this window in the next 2-3 years with Castillo. And
Not projecting 5 years down the road. This is exactly what we're trying to say, is that you have to trade these players who you're paying a lot of money to get what you don't really have in your system, which is bats for us right now.
Right? Yeah, the pitchers that we haven't been paying their full value through arbitration because they haven't signed a major league contract, they're going to have huge value to another team because they're going to sign them and extend them immediately at the end of their arbitration. And we were hoping to do that with Vlad Jr. this offseason. That didn't happen. But, that's just how baseball business works, and that's how things shape up. We were hoping Luis Castillo would make the impact he needed to in the last 2 years, which he did.
Yes.
He's been here and made the impact he needed to. We didn't get there in those 2 years, and now those bullets have been fired, and we are at the point where we're seeing a tiny bit of diminishing return, and that's where we are.
Yeah.
Hopefully Luis Castillo can stay healthy, but he's over his peak. And now we have to figure out what to do with him on the downside of that. And he's still good, like you said. He's a very good pitcher.
Yes. Yeah, he's not garbage. He's not, like, handicapping the team. He's not out there just completely blowing games. And we're like, oh, it's a Castillo start. Well, this game's over. He's still really good. He just hasn't been ace tier. So, especially this year. He has not been ace tier. And we have aces on our team.
Logan Gilbert.
That kid is the fucking future.
But the thing is, and this is another interesting topic to talk about, DePoto's contract is up at the end of this year.
Is it? I haven't heard when it ends, but I know that they've been kind of re-signed in 3-year increments, but I haven't read a definitive end to it.
I could be mistaken.
Every time I look it up, I'm like, I don't know. It seems indefinite. But it was at the end of the 3-year increments, which they've been extended, so I knew it was services time at least. I could see DePoto staying around.
Well, the thing is, DePoto is a king of a lot of things. He's the king of kind of looking like knockoff Tom Brady. He is the king of fleecing the Padres in trades. Yeah. He's done it numerous times. He's also the king of moving the goalpost. He's done it throughout pretty much his entire tenure. When he said, "Oh, we're gonna shoot for 2020 is when we're gonna make the playoffs," and then the COVID season happened, and so he's able to push it back a little bit more, buy himself a little bit more time.
Fair, I think.
That is fair with the COVID season. I mean, a 60-game season. Come on. So the COVID season, but he moved the goalpost back. And then, the COVID thing actually set us back a little bit. So now give me a couple more years on top of that.
Let's rebuild this thing.
And I think the biggest sign of it this year was not unloading prospects at the deadline. Because King DePoto is going to move the goalpost again and go, well, look at this farm system I built up. Which he has.
He's the king of that,
He's played the perfect role for the front office. He's been a puppet for them.
And the farm system is better than it's been in 10, 15 years. We have a nice farm system. He has built that. But the fact that he's not willing to trade to win now makes me think that he's holding on to those chips because he doesn't care about the Mariners winning. He cares about getting contract extensions for himself. So if he goes, well, look at all these prospects we have coming up. I've built this. Why would you not hire me for another 3 years? Look at what I've built with this farm system.
Let me see this thing through.
Right? And I think that's a big sign. And why we'll probably trade one of our starters instead of the prospects that we have some good ones. And we could offload for some ready right now MLB talent. But that's not what Dipoto wants. Stanton doesn't want to spend money. And Dipoto wants to keep his job and job security for as long as possible. So it's kind of like this perfect like yin and yang of Stanton being like, oh, well, I don't have to spend money. And Dipoto, we're just a year or two away. And
are we not seeing through it a little bit now? The more things Dipoto says to the public and takes the arrows for the front office is being puppeted out there while John Stanton isn't even in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have we not realized by now? Do we not see through that? Read between the lines here and know that, yeah, the president of baseball operations and the top tier, like John Stanton and they all work hand in hand. They're just trying to make money, dude. And one guy takes bullets by saying dumb stuff or like moving the goalposts in front of the public and eating that. And he has no problem doing it. Every time he talks, do you think that he feels the heat for all that stuff now, today? No, dude. He's just saying things and doing his damn job. He's done a great job by getting Luis Castillo a cornerstone of our team now. The problem is we haven't gone for it in the off seasons. We're trying to just get some maybe coin flip over the hill guys, hope they work out. If they don't, we try to supplement to give enough juice or enough hope in the second half of the season to barely make the playoffs, make a lot of money, and then I don't know, man. I don't see it getting better. I don't see them going and spending the money. Like, I don't even guarantee that they're going to sign up Cal Raleigh and Logan Gilbert. I don't have that in me to think that they're going to do that because
that's the move.
They just keep moving the goalposts, saying the next thing, stringing us along, and I'm starting to see straight through that shit, man. I don't think anything they say is like true. There's no like, I should feel this because they told me. Like, I'm starting to read it as like, what is going on? What kind of body language do they have? Are they telling the truth or are they just saying some scripted thing that they're supposed to say? And like, dude, there's a lot more moving like pieces behind the scenes that we just hear
they will
the
say
front of.
The most vague shit ever. They're like, well, we've done a lot of work.
I kind of hate it.
I bet you have.
But
now,
fucking.
what are we doing?
a lot more work ahead of us.
The window is coming up. It's been.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
That last window, it's past. This window, it's now. The future window, it's then.
It's
What
coming.
is this? Yeah, whenever they speak, I don't hear like anything assuring at all.
Non-answers
Well,
all the time.
And it just shows that Mariners ownership is not serious about winning a World Series. And let's be real, even in Dipoto's statements, like talking about winning percentage, the 54% comment and stuff, that is not about winning a World Series. That's just winning enough. Winning enough to keep us all along.
Over a 10-year period.
That's scraping by.
If you win 54% of your games, you'll make the playoffs sometimes, is what he said.
And that's his goal. That is his goal, to make the playoffs sometimes.
Let's run the same running play on goal line, fourth or like first and goal. Run the same running play 4 times, and one of the times you'll fall over the goal line. That's what they're saying. Is like, hey, if you do the same thing over and over again, and you'll barely make it, you'll barely fall over the goal line one of the times. It's like, dude, I don't want to play that game. I want to play a game where our team is fun, good, exciting, wants to win. We're expected to be in the playoffs, not just some bullshit team that's never made it to the championship, is never expected to be there, is an absolute joke even when they're good. Everyone's fucking laughing at us. It's embarrassing, man. This culture that we try to exude over here, where this Mariners culture it's good. There's great people in the Mariners culture, but they are absolutely fucking us, dude.
Yeah.
It's bad. And the decades above us, our generational baseball connects. Your family, my family. Who's renewing season tickets? My family didn't this year. Your family?
I didn't this year, and my sister and brother-in-law also declined for next year. They renewed for this year, and after the results of this year, they are not renewing next year.
I know of another family, 20 years of season tickets are not renewing next year.
And this is a quick, the scummy business practices. So they keep upping the season ticket price every single year. Just 3 years ago, you could get a flex season ticket package for $600. $600 flex season ticket package. That's good for the fans. It lets you come to the games and you can cheer, support your team.
That's fair.
And you could do it at the end of the season. Like the season wraps up, you can choose to renew. Nowadays, just this year, even with us on chances of not even making the playoffs, they have increased the amount for season tickets. It's up to $1,200 for the base flex package, and they decreased the time that you can sign up for it.
Renewing at the end of August.
They want you at the end of August
to commit.
You have to renew, and if you don't decline, they auto renew you. They auto renew you. This is scummy business practices, and the thing is, none of this would matter if the Mariners were winning games. It's the thing. Winning fixes everything. You want to raise our prices? You want to make us decide earlier each year when we have to renew?
I wonder why. They know what the end of the season looks like. Really close and probably not going to, it's a coin flip to make it into the fucking third wild card spot if we don't win the division. And dude, it's bullshit.
And that's 100% why they're doing it, because they know they might not make it. So they make the date earlier and earlier each year. So you have to buy in or get auto renewed. And so then you're already locked in for next year.
If the Mariners don't make the playoffs, that bad feeling is going to make so many people opt out if the deadline's right after the season is over. So that I guess it makes sense, but it just shows exactly what their business practice is like. It's not for sustainable winning and playoffs and championship. This is all
it's a business,
baby. And hey, we're smack dab in the middle of it. We've been learning enough over these last couple of years to start seeing through the facade that they throw up at us and be all emotional about it. I'm over it, man. Fuck those guys and everything they say. I see it, man. This is bullshit. Let's build I want a winning culture in Seattle. I love Seattle Mariners fans, and I will always be one. But fuck that kind of business practice, dude. We got to build a winning style business. Like, the product on the field has to be winning for this to go well in the next 5-10 years. I don't know how well I'm going to be invested in this product if things don't start going that way.
And speaking of winning, we have the last game against the Angels tomorrow. We have to take the series. We have a 4-game on the road in Oakland. That 4-game road series are difficult. We need to take 3 of 4. The days of early in the season being like, oh, we could split a road 4 series. Normally, that would be okay. We're out of time for that shit. We can't split a 4-game road series against Oakland. We need to take 3 of 4. A 4-game sweep on the road, I get, is a heavy ask for anyone, for any team. We need to take 3 of 4.
Okay. 4.
I want all 4?
I want all goddamn 4 games.
We need all 4.
The last time the Mariners are ever going to play at the Coliseum.
Oh,
the possum. No more possum.
No more possum
All
talk,
the broken
yep.
shit and the smelly shit.
No
Yeah, no more
monitors.
sewage and
I love Rick Riz like talking about how he's like, and we don't have monitors in our studio, and the sound system went out, so we can't really hear. And there's a possum running around. That possum is famous though. I hope they rehome him. Hope he goes to a good home.
Yep, there's only one possum running around there. Dude, but every game they have a bunch of dudes that go out there and pound the drum. They pound the drums. They cheer for the Oakland A's. They do have a very large fan base, and they've been around for decades. The Coliseum is a monument of
historic.
MLB.
It
and
is
it's
historic.
great, man, for NFL, concerts, everything. That place has been amazing for a decade. So
It's gonna be weird.
Historic. The last Mariners visit to the Coliseum.
And then the Cardinals, who, it's so funny. You want to talk about, I don't even want to shit on Cardinals fans. I actually really like the Cardinals. I think they have a beautiful stadium.
Bush.
I like the team. They're kind of fun. The Cardinals are only playing 500 ball this year, and fans are giving away tickets for free on Vivid Seats. And that shows the culture of winning that St. Louis has, where they're like 500 ball. I'm giving away tickets for free because I don't want to see a 500 ball club.
It's
Whereas
embarrassing
Mariners
to
fans
them.
are like, we might be 500 this year. Let's fucking go.
We're so naive.
500 ball? Here's $1,200. Sign me the fuck up.
Cardinals fans expect that shit, and this is the second down year in a row for them.
Yeah.
So like they're not happy.
So we have the Angels series, we have 4 in Oakland, and then 3 with the Cardinals, all on the road. And we need to win. We need to win. The time of just being okay with splitting series or maybe dropping a series
Can't
is over.
happen.
We don't have time for that. We have to win. We have to win now.
Our next homestand, San Diego Padres for 2, Texas for 4, and then the Yankees for 3. So it's gonna be tough. And then we have Texas and Houston on the road, and end the season with Oakland. There's only so many games left. A lot of them are going to be tough, but now is the time to get hot against the weaker teams. We've got to put it all together. Fire on all cylinders for once. Even if we're a 4-cylinder engine, let's get that thing banging. Let's put a turbo on it and get popping, baby.
So let's win these games. Let's come back next week. Hopefully we only have to record 1 episode next week.
I hope so.
And hopefully the Mariners have won games, and we have better news and more smiles on our faces next week.
Oh, yeah, the Mariners have won 69 games this year. Nice. And yeah,
Let's win more.
more games, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you all for sticking with us. This was our 2nd episode of the day due to technical difficulties, so I think we did okay. The magic of that first one, though, is we'll just be...
We did fine.
It's
It was
lost
great.
forever. You'll never
It's-
see it.
It's
so.
gone. Sign up for our Patreon that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
We'll put it out there.
Yeah, sign up for that.
Thank you all for listening. We're going to get out of here. It's been a long day for all of us. Thank you all so much, and we'll be back next week with more Mariners news. And
Go Mariners!